I hope that everybody had a terrific week. This fourth week of Shovavim, Parshat Beshalach, Shabbos Shira. The Gemara in Sota writes, Rabbi Meir Omer, that when the Jews got to the Yam, so each Shevet said, Ani yored tchila, Ani yored tchila. There was a machlokes, there was a battle about who was going to go jump into the Yam first. Rabbi Yehuda responds, Lo kacha yamasa, that's not what happened, but rather, each one said, Ein ani yored tchila, I'm not going first. Look at that sea, you got to be nuts to go into that, until Nachshon ben Aminadav jumped in, and as we know, his Mesiras Nefesh caused the Yam to split. Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky asked that we have a thought in Judaism that says, Elav Elu Divrei Elokim Chayim, that when you have a machlokes, each one is Divrei Elokim Chayim, each one is right. So maybe somehow we could work that out, even though it's very challenging in certain halachic instances. But here, when you have a story, how is it possible that they both could be right? How is it possible that Rabbi Meir is right when he said that each Shevet wanted to jump in first, and Rabbi Yehuda is right when he said each Shevet didn't want to jump in first? So Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky says that if you look at the words of Rabbi Yehuda, that answers everything. When Rabbi Yehuda said, Lo kacha yamasa, it doesn't mean that's not what happened, but rather, Lo kacha yamasa, that when it came to b'masa, when it came time for action, not just speaking, not just words, but time to do something, so then everybody froze until Nachshon jumped in. Rabbi Meir said, Ze omer ani yored tchila, v'ze omer ani yored tchila. Each one talked about how great of a job they wanted to do and how much sacrifice they wanted to have. But when push came to shove, so then only Nachshon jumped in. Lo kacha yamasa. That's not how the reality played out. Rather, Ze ein yored tchila, v'ze ein yored tchila. Each one didn't jump in and each one didn't go first. And this is the praise of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we say every morning in Baruch Sha'amar. Baruch Omer V'oseh. That there's a special bracha to the one who says and does. In HaKadosh Baruch Hu's case, the Omer is the Oseh. His word does cause the action to happen directly. But that's a model to us when we're viewing our lives. Are we big talkers or are we big doers? And maybe this is an idea about Tu B'Shvat, what we're celebrating. We don't see flowers and leaves growing on Tu B'Shvat, but rather the sap starts to move up the tree. Any bit, any notion of action, just starting to move, getting going to get the job done, not leaving it just as theory, not leaving it just as Omer, but Omer V'Yoseh. I'm going to be a doer. I'm going to be somebody who's going to step up and get the job done. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help give us the strength, the courage, and the guts to not just talk about nice ideals, but to come through in action as well in order to make the world a better place. Have a great Shabbos.